Some chewing tonic.
Who else is here?
Has Brennan shaved yet? Like, let's just get this out of the way.
Paul and Solveig.
Where's your Tigers at, Tim?
What's that?
Where are your Tigers at?
Nah, man, this is that Doc Holliday stuff.
Okay.
You're a daisy if you do. All right. Let's get kind of right into it because we might have to. I want to cover as much as I can within this. So I'm gonna start with a drill on Rennie getting to single leg X. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about when he sweeps us and goes for the ankle. We'll defend the ankle lock, and then we'll pass and we'll do some other magic, like Copperfield. All right, so if I have Rennie just stand up, this is a simple drill to get to single leg X.
Hey, Chris, why don't you spearhead this if anyone posts a question and we're not answering it right away, if you just want to activate your mic and blurt it out.
Yeah, I got you.
So everyone else stay quiet. We'll let Chris be one guy that will chime in.
All right, so just a quick drill. We'll do 2 drills to get to single leg X, right? So we'll start with if Brian's just on top. I shoot my hips up, okay? Foot goes on his hip, heel goes on his hip with my toes pointed out. I don't want my toes pointed in like this, okay? My other foot's gonna go right up kind of on his butt cheek, and I pinch, okay? I go back down, I come up, toes pointed out, hips up off the ground, okay? Heel is biting down on Brennan's hip to keep my hips in the air, okay? So if I'm lazy with that, my hips just fall. Comes up. Very important that I keep my toes out, and I don't want to get my toes stuck on the inside because my foot will get stuck and we'll end up hurting our knee a little bit. Okay, so here. Okay, and I pinch. Right, it's very important that I pinch my knees and my hips stay up off the ground. Okay, we're here with this. Pinch. Okay, and since Brady's so tall, my foot's on his side, it's not even really on his hip. Okay, second drill. Okay, I start here.
Sweet.
Hold the shin with one hand. Okay, my other hand's gonna go right behind his knee. Okay, you can grab. You don't need to grab your hands, but you can grab his knee. I'm gonna fall to my right side. Okay, I keep my left shin on his shin. And I go right to that single leg X position. Okay, go back. Okay, go to the other side. So shin on shin. Hold. Okay, I'm not holding the pant leg. I'm just C-gripping on the shin. I fall. Okay, heel bites down, toes pointed out. And I'm in that single leg X position. Okay, go back. Okay. So C-grip. Okay, other hand is right behind his knee. Okay, I pull. Very important to maintain contact with my shin on his shin. Okay, and we're in single leg X. Okay, one more time. Pull. Heel bites down, hips up, pinching my legs, and we're ready to start to work. Okay. So two ways to get there. I think anytime we're doing single leg X, those are the best drills to do to actually just to get used to being in that position. Okay. So let's talk about what Rennie does from that position, right? So Rennie's going to go to that position. Which way do you want to go? Okay. So Rennie's got me in single leg X. Okay. Now, if you guys can't see, he's got his foot wrapped up in my ankle. So what Rennie wants to do is he wants to pinch, he wants to lift his hips up, and he's going to turn me that to my right. Okay, so as he starts to sweep me, okay, I fall. Okay, so if you guys can see my foot. Okay, we'll do it. He's already got me in a foot lock position. Okay, so if he extends his hips, pushes with his bottom foot on my hip, and pushes his hips forward, he finishes that ankle. Okay? So. Right? So all he needs to do to finish the sweep, he's already got the ankle lock tight right now. Okay? He pinches his knees, pushes up, turns his hips. I fall, and he's already starting to finish it before I can even react. Okay? Let's do it from the other way. So he pushes his hips up, turns. Okay? Super easy sweep, super easy way to get to that foot. Right? So let's do it this way. Okay, push up. Okay, and if you can see Brendan's, no, can't. Right, he's already got the foot lock ready to go. So if he hides his elbow, yep, pushes his hip forward and uses this, he finishes that ankle up pretty easy. Okay, so what we got to do to defend? The second that we get here, the bottom foot has to go off. Okay, so I push the bottom foot off because that allows me to not allow him. Did I say that right? No.
Prevent.
Yeah, got it. So I'm not allowing him to use that foot for leverage to finish the foot lock. Foot goes off. Okay, I'm gonna reach up or sit up and just sit on his foot so he can't get that back. So even if he starts to roll this way, he can't finish it. The other thing I need to do is I need to what I call like put my boots on, right? So I flex my foot back this way. I'm not leaving my toes out like that, okay? So I put the boot on, I guess. I can't even remember where I got that phrasing from, right? Put the boot on, okay? I'm gonna reach up, I'm gonna grab his collar, okay? And I pull in. This is also kind of breaking that posture down. We talked about this, yesterday? We talked about this on Tuesday too, breaking the posture down, right? This doesn't allow him to extend. Excuse me. Okay, so two things after that. He's already sweating. Okay, pushes hips, sweeps. Okay, right away. I have to sit up. I have to get this foot off my hip. I reach up and I sit. Okay, I put the boot on. Right, so I'm flexing my foot back and not allowing him to extend my foot. Okay, and I'm reaching up and I'm grabbing his collar and pulling. Okay, so if he even wants to try to finish it now, yeah, it's really, really hard. Okay, almost burping in your face, pretty gross. Okay, so with that, he's got to the single leg X position, he sweeps. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time, so this way. Sweeps. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And if Brandon wants to try to finish it now, it's really hard for him to finish. Okay. So this side. Sit up. Okay. 1. Sitting on his leg. Okay, so I can't put that foot back on my hip. I'm grabbing his collar, pulling it. Okay, down. So he can't extend his hips. Okay? So, in this position, right? I'm sitting on his foot. I need to get my foot flat on the floor. Okay? So, I'm going to bring Brennan this way. Okay? And I'm going to stand up and base, essentially. Okay? I post my hand. I bring my left leg back. Okay? And I get my foot flat on the floor. So, here's the issue now. He's going to go back to single leg X. Okay? But this is also, this doesn't allow him to finish the foot lock. So he's back to single leg X, so now we have to deal with this again. Right? He swept me the first time, right? Now we have to deal with it the second time because we're defending the foot. Okay? So the second we get to here, I'm going to turn my knee in and I put my shin across his belly. Okay? So he goes back with the foot. I get the foot off. I take my hand on his toes, off, and my knee goes across his belt line. Okay, and I'm low to where if he wants to try to get that foot back, he can. Okay, so let's go this way. Okay, so he gets back. You sweat. Okay, boom. Collar, pull, lean to my left to stand up in base. Okay, and I get my foot flat on the floor. Okay, so he goes back to single leg X. Okay, my hand goes on his toes. Okay, I push. Okay, now my right knee's gonna go across his belly this way. Okay, and so I can let go of that because if he wants to try to get this on now, it's gonna be really hard unless he's Brady, right? Super small legs, small guy. Okay. So one more time. He sweeps, boom. Okay, that's my foot. Get that foot off my hip. Sit down, grab his collar, pull. Okay, lean to my left to get my foot flat on the floor. Okay, stand back up. He's gonna go back to single leg X. You have to understand that's exactly where he's gonna want to go again because he's gonna want to try to sweep you again. Okay, so hand goes on his toes. Okay, push. Right knee comes in.
Question.
And I can let go.
Are you just monitoring with your left hand to prevent him from getting grips?
Wait, what was that, Chris?
The question is, are you just monitoring with your left hand to prevent him from getting grips?
Not entering or monitoring, Chris? I'm sorry, it's hard to hear you.
Yeah, that's right. Monitoring, keeping watch.
Okay. Or are you just not blocking with your left hand?
He's already got the grip. That's the problem. Problem is he's already got the grip. So if he sweeps me, right? Okay, here. Okay, here's my left hand. So hi Zoe. Posting, okay. Stand up in base, okay. This is just kind of sitting on his knee, but it's not really monitoring anything because he already has his grips. He's already got that foot lock grip, that ankle lock. Does that make sense?
The question was about your left hand, though. What are you doing with your left hand? Yep, that's the one.
it's on top of his knee right now.
Okay.
Right now, I mean, nothing. He's already got his grip, so I don't really need to monitor anything yet.
Are you, and this is my question now, when you start monitoring or when you start peeling his foot with your right hand,
Yeah.
do you take your left to keep him pulled tight?
No, once I go here, there's no leverage anymore for him to sweep me.
Okay.
Right? And his hips have to be up in the air, right? We talked about that when we were doing the drills. So his hips have to be up in the air in order to sweep me. If I peel this foot off my hip, his hips drop. Right?
Yep.
Now, if he tries to sweep me back, it's going to be really hard. Right? So this hand right now isn't really doing anything right now. Does that make sense? Does that answer the question? I guess.
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe half-ass.
More or less.
Okay. More or less?
Let's say more.
Slightly more than half. All right. So when I'm monitoring here, this hand, okay, is just going here. That's it. Like a C grip on his ankle, mainly for my stability. Right? When I turn in like this, okay, it's hard for him to sweep me at all. My left knee's pitching in. Okay? But he can't really go anywhere because my right shin is on his hips. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Right? Who does that make sense to who asked the question, Chris?
I don't know. It's Simonis, so it's marine logic. Like your idea is as good as mine.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, right when you go to peel his foot, is there any reason where he's got the ankle lock with
Ryan, please stop. From now on, we would like you to permission to speak, sir. And then we'll either grant that or not grant that. But just blurting things out. We live in civilization, Simonis.
Fair enough. Permission to speak.
Denied. All right, let's move on.
No, go ahead, Ryan.
No, so he's got your ankle with his left hand locking that up. And then he's also got his right hand, you said his grip on that pant leg. When you go to peel his foot off your hip, is there any reason you just let go of the right pant grip to go to like your collar or to do anything to defend you from when you're putting the knee across the belt line?
Well, no, because if I have this on Brenny and I already swept him once, right? I'm more likely to try to sweep him again because I caught him with it the first time.
So he's gonna likely hold on to that pant grip and hold on to the ankle.
If I have that foot, I might. Right? And he's just got the foot lock. He's just got a regular ankle lock, right? So he just has this grip. Right? He's holding on tight. So if he goes like this, pulls my, right? Stands up in base. There. He goes like this, and I put my foot back on the hip. I'm going to lift and try to sweep again.
Okay.
Right? And if he's holding onto the collar, that's okay, right? I tend to just monitor this right here.
Okay.
Okay. So when he pulls his foot off and then turns in, oh,
right.
I have no leverage anymore. Right, but he's still holding on to the ankle.
Okay.
Does that answer it or not really?
Yeah, I was just thinking from the angle where he was sitting that if he's defending, if he doesn't, the way he was holding your leg, it didn't look like he had anything with his right hand. Like he was only holding the ankle with his left. So he might switch grips to the collar, something to defend as you're trying not to get swept again.
Maybe. But that's a possibility.
Yeah, like in the example, like he swept you the first time, you stand up. When you clear his leg and then you turn your knee in his belt line, the way he was holding, like his right arm was basically doing nothing to hold your foot. So I was just questioning why would he continue holding that over grip, because it wasn't doing anything to hold your foot in there. He was only doing that with his left hand. Might as well bring his right hand into play to try to defend.
Maybe I don't understand his question.
You know what I'm talking about?
He's concerned about the left hand?
You're concerned about his left hand or my left hand?
Your left hand, so see where his right hand is now? His right hand is doing, once you clear his foot off the hip, you go to turn, his right hand is doing nothing. What would stop him when you stand up to switch that grip?
What would stop him from switching it?
Yeah, so stand up, finish the rest there. So he puts it back up, you go to clear his foot, his right hand is doing nothing. Why wouldn't he switch his grips to go to like your collar or something? That's why I was asking what you were doing.
Why would Brennan switch his grip?
Yeah. That's why I was asking, are you blocking with your left?
No. If he goes to the collar, Brennan, Tim just breaks that grip.
Okay. That's what you're doing with the left. It's just there in case he does that to break.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not really concerned with him breaking my posture.
Okay.
Turn all the way.
Your hand is going to be off that knee anyway. Okay.
His left hand is on the knee that's in between.
Right.
Tim doesn't need to worry about the pressure that Brennan has on that collar right now.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Tim does not want to break it, use both hands to break it, and sit up. Tim does not want to do that because he's going to get swept back again.
Right. Okay.
So Brennan holding that collar right there isn't that big of a deal. Brennan is compact, so when Tim pulls and pushes his knee down, it's really uncomfortable for Brennan on the bottom.
Okay.
So that right hand on the collar isn't that big of a deal.
Okay.
Yeah. So if he does go to that, I'm not concerned with what he's doing with this hand.
No, it's actually good that it's there because that means he doesn't have pressure on the foot.
Yeah, and I know, to me, if he has this grip, because it's one of those like things we do, but it's hard to explain. Like I can monitor his hand right here. I know where it is, and it's one of these things where it does him no good to hold me down. Because if he's pulling me down on top of him.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? There's no, I mean, what he wants to do is, if in this case he'd want to relieve my pressure on him. So if I went like this, that's relieving a little bit of pressure. And with this leg, if I monitor this and want to get this grip out, now I don't have enough pressure on his leg.
It's going to kick.
He's going to kick me forward that way.
And go back to the foot.
Right back to the foot. Exactly. Right? So if he brings, if once we break that, right, once we stand back up and I peel this foot off and I turn, and he's holding this collar,
okay.
To me it doesn't matter. He's just pulling me on top of him.
Okay. Yeah, that angle's better too. Like it just looked like he was basically sitting there with that right hand, like.
Well, you also asked the question in a very Marine way.
I have to do that to make sure you're thinking.
I'm not a Marine. Yeah.
Testing you.
Were you talking military left or like regular left?
Yes.
Got it. Okay, so one more
Yes,
time.
thank you.
I got you, man. We got there eventually. Took the whole 45 minutes, but okay. So foot, right? I'm grabbing with my right hand. Okay, I'm monitoring this just to keep him a little bit more compact. Okay, push this up, and I turn my knee in. Okay, so I'm perpendicular to him right now. So it's gonna be really hard for him to get that foot back on the hip to try to sweep me again. And even if he wants to move, it's really hard to move in this spot, right? Because all my pressure is on his chest and on his hips. It's going to be really, really tough for him to move at all. Okay, so we'll talk about passing from here. Okay, this is why I keep this left hand on his shin, because I want to keep this compact. My right hand's going to here. Let me move right this way. Okay. Okay. My right hand's going to post next to his head. Okay. My left hand stays right on the shin in that C grip. Okay. And I'm going to long step back with my left leg. We'll step forward. Okay. From here, all I'm going to think about doing is sliding down. Okay. Controlling his head, and I push his hips away from him. Okay. And we pass. Okay. So he's got the ankle, right? They've gotten back up. Push the foot off, turn. Okay, so again, Ryan, even if he has that collar, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's actually good for me. I post my hand, okay, I kick back. Okay, I sit down, slide my knee where my knee's next to his hip, hug his head, and I use my left hand to push. Okay, and we pass. Okay. So again, foot off. Turn my knee in. So my shin is across his stomach or across the sternum. Okay, and I let this foot go. Okay, then I post with my right hand next to his head. Again, my left hand is just sitting on his chin, pushing down a little bit, and then I'm gonna step up and over. Okay, from here, I just watch my right knee. It goes right to his hip. Okay, then I hug his head, then I push away, and establish side. So, turn. Okay. Post. Okay. Okay. So like with Bernie, I gotta go up and over because he's got long legs. Okay. So if he tries to extend that foot, up. Okay. Knee comes down, hug his head, push his hips away, and establish side. Okay. So let's go from the whole sequence and then we'll move on. If Ryan doesn't have another 15-minute question. He's not even there anymore.
Nah, he's off making dinner. Don't worry about him.
What a Marine thing to do.
His pizza timer went off. He had to go to the
Pizza rolls! I bet you he's got those real expensive, like Annie's pizza rolls too, not like the bag of Totino's. The spendy ones you find at the co-op. Okay, so toes on his foot, turn in, okay, post, up and over. Okay, knee comes next to his hip, hug, and then I use my left hand to push. Okay, so entire sequence. He goes to sweep. Boom. Okay, right look, sit back up. Foot off my hip. Okay, sit. Reach up, grab his collar with my right hand, pull. Okay, now I have to lean this way, right? I have to lean this way to get my right foot flat. Okay, I go back. He puts his foot back on my hip. Okay, I've already seen it coming once, so I know what's going to happen. Hand goes back on the foot. peel it off, knee turns in. Okay? So in this position, you can sit. There's not much you can do, right? A lot of my weight's on his legs, so it's gonna be hard to extend. Okay? Post my hand. Okay? Up and over. Okay? The knee comes down next to his hip. Like I said, push his hips away. And I press.
Is it when you're crouching on him that's preventing him from rolling up?
What's that?
So I'm thinking when you're doing that back step, normally I would be expecting the opponent to try and roll up, try and get an underhook and start wrestling.
They might, but that pressure, that shit across his
that was
knee.
my question. Is it the knee across their belt line that's basically keeping him down at the same time?
Yeah. That knee is like, you're gonna keep that pressure with your shin across his belt line or his sternum the entire time until I slide off.
So you're not worried about getting head control before you back step. That's pinning him down flat.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that.
All right.
Was that your question, Chris, or was that Ryan's?
No, that was my own. He's finally back. I think I just saw him put his headphones back in.
So weird how clear your questions are. Precise. It's the difference between a Marine and a lawyer.
One of them can read.
Yeah. One of them can talk. Right? So, Brennan, sweep for me. Go man. Okay. Put up the hip. Okay. Sit. Hand goes in the collar, I pull. Okay. Now I want to come back this way. To get my foot flat on the ground. So if my foot's flat on the ground, you guys can think about this too. If I can constantly think about keeping my foot flat on the ground, it's gonna be very, very hard for him to sweep me at all, or for him to finish that football. Okay? Stand up, okay? Hand goes back, I peel. Okay? Now my knee turns in. Okay? So the pressure here, Chris, this is the pressure that maintains the entire time. Okay? Hand posts, I kick back, okay? Now I can slide off, knee goes to the tip, I help his head, I push his hips away, and I press. Which way? This one. Okay, so it goes to sweep. Go right on the bring, okay? Pull, okay? Now I bring him this way to get my foot flat on the ground. Okay, goes back to single X, toes go off, okay, knee turns in, okay, all my weights on my right leg, right, across the sternum or his belt line, okay? This is important. So I don't know if you guys can't really see this, but I'm basically sitting on his foot that's under, right? So this foot, because of this, where my weight's distributed, I'm sitting on his leg. So if he tries to extend, he can't. Okay, he can't leg extension me off. Okay, so that's why this grip comes in handy. I hold, I post my hand, okay, up and over. Okay, knee comes down to his hip, of his head, and pass. Okay.
Do you have to modify anything if you're rolling against a particularly large opponent? Say if you're trying to do.
Who are you calling fat?
I mean, technically, I'm calling Brennan fat. Like if you're going against Zig or Drake or Rob Young, you know, anybody who is more massive than yourself.
Rotund.
Ovular, yeah.
You mean the plus size purple belts? Well, I don't think you need to modify it, but you do also have to remember they're not going to be as mobile as maybe Brennan is, right? So you might not have to turn in as much with that knee, so you keep that foot off. That make sense?
Paul, does that make sense?
Who's saying that? Paul? Another
Paul Keating.
lawyer? No? Good?
Let's find out. I think he's trying to work his phone. I mean, it makes sense to
Hey, I got a question.
me. Yeah, he's got it. We're good.
Phone just went me.
Yes, that makes sense.
That makes sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to really you don't need to modify techniques because you just got to be aware if the guy's bigger or not. I don't really modify much when it comes to going with the bigger guys.
Okay, then I'm going to piggyback on that. If you're going against Oscar and his legs are 9 feet long,
Same thing.
he might be more able to use a leg extension to elevate you than Brennan might or than Zig might. Is there any particular I don't know, awareness that you want to have when you're going against somebody like that? Or,
Yes.
Tim,
All right,
Jake,
so-
Nate, Tyler, those
No, I
guys.
get it. No, I get that question, right? Because Brenny's 5 inches, 8, 9 inches taller than I am, right?
Right.
The ability, especially, Oscar's such an anomaly, right?
Yeah.
The ability to kick back might not be there anymore. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he can just,
He'll just catch you.
yeah, he'll catch you. He'll catch you way over here. Yeah,
Yeah.
as you're coming back, right? Okay, that brings up to the second part. So, thank you, Chris, for your contribution to what is it? I'm not smart. Okay, so I turn. Okay, I've got the pressure here, but what Chris is saying is sometimes if I start to kick back, he catches me. Yeah, I end up like this. Right?
Yep, that's right.
Yep. Okay. All right. So same thing applies. Everything starts the same, right, Chris? Here, I turn my knee in. All my pressure's here. Instead of my right hand going here to kick off, my right hand's going to go right on this tricep. Okay. And I'm going to think about bringing them this way, and I'm going to put my knee on the ground over here. Okay. So if you can see. My knee's right next to his hip. I'm in like a couch stretch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So here, foot goes off, knee still turns in. Okay, he still has that ankle lock grip.
Yeah.
So my hand goes right on his tricep, right, and I'm grabbing like this. So I'm going to take a step and I'm going to pull. Like this, right? So now the ability to kick back is gone. But instead of kicking back, I'm going to shoot my right leg through back that way. So I close my hand, then my left hand here. My right leg's going to come in, or my left leg's going to come in. My right leg's going to turn. And go like this. Come on.
Is your knee in any particular danger while you've got him pulled over this way?
No.
Yeah.
No, because the only thing I'm really doing is this.
And because you pull up on his tricep, he doesn't have your foot tight, right?
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So, same thing. Let's move back just a little bit. Right? Foot comes off his hip or off my hip. Knee turns in. Okay. Maybe I don't want to step back because I'm afraid that he might sweep me because his legs are long or whatever. Okay. Hand goes on his tricep. Okay. My left leg's going to take a step and I'm going to pull myself like this.
Okay.
So essentially, like we're doing this stretch.
Yep.
Right? Okay. When I go back, my hand's going to post. My left leg's going to come in first, and I'm going to turn my hips towards Brandon. And I'm still holding his tricep. Okay. And then I just go to mount.
Now, when you're doing that couch stretch, this is a follow-up question. You're doing that couch stretch, you've got his tricep. Is there anything stopping him from hipping out to escape?
Well, he can hip out.
Okay.
Right? So if he wants to hip away, just hip straight.
Sure.
It's stupid, right?
Yeah.
But he's giving me space to get out too. Right? So, okay, foot up the hip, knee turns in, okay? Tricep, I take a step, I pull. Okay? I post my hand, I'm gonna bring my left leg back in, Hips are gonna turn and I pull. Then we end up in the okay, let's go this way. Okay, foot up there. Knee turns back in here. Okay. Go to his tricep, post my hand, pull. Okay.
I'm gonna add in an important piece here that I know Timmy does when he trains guys, but he's not showing it now. One thing that Brennan can do from that position is stay right there, Brennan. Put your right hand on his knee. Okay. Escape your hip and bring your left foot back around and put it on his hip. Yes. So what Timmy is going to do when he's actually training, go back, Brennan. Timmy doesn't just hold the tricep, he puts his elbow down. Put your elbow down tight, Tim. So when Brennan tries to come back with that foot, Tim will use that elbow to block Brennan trying to put the foot back on the hip. So push, try to loop your foot. Do you see? Does that make sense, guys? So you want to make sure that that elbow is monitoring that foot coming back on the hip. If Brennan decides to loop over that, go to that position. If Brennan loops his leg over the foot, loop over his arm, Brennan. Over, all the way. Tim now has either barbed wire, right? Or he can then attack Brennan's foot. Brennan put his own foot in a footlock position.
Yeah.
So make sure you use that elbow to block that foot re-entering back on to the hip.
That makes sense, Chris?
Yep.
Left 10 minutes.
Questions? Nothing?
Can
Comments,
you-
concerns?
Can you go through it all one more time? We got some more people who popped on throughout, so just so they can all see it.
You're late to the party.
Hey man, you want to tell Pat he can't do something? You feel free. I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him everything.
Who's that? Pat?
Put your mask on, Pat.
It's on.
Never heard of it.
Here, wait a minute. I'll peel it off.
Do you have did you borrow Gil's painting mask?
No, I'm actually get one. I have a mask. I wear a mask. Nice beard, mustache.
All right, so single leg X, okay? First pass, right? Foot goes out the hip, knee comes in to turn, okay? All my weight's on my right leg, okay? I go to post my hand, okay? I kick back, up and over, okay? Knee comes down to his hip, okay? So in this case, the reason why the knee comes down to his hip is I don't want him to regain guard, right? The other thing is if he starts to elbow escape away, well, now he's giving me the space that I want to take side control anyways. Okay? Second pass, okay? What comes out the hip, knee comes in, okay? Maybe we're dealing with someone who's got long legs, or maybe you're not comfortable kicking back, okay? I grab his tricep, okay? I step, I put my knee on the ground, okay? I'm gonna post my hand, my left hand. Left leg's gonna come in, hips are gonna turn, and I pull.
Ah.
Right to mine. Let's go. Okay, first pass. Okay, foot up the hip, hips turn, okay, all my weight's on my right leg. Post my hand, okay, kick up and over, okay, knee comes down to the hip so he doesn't retain guard. Leg control, push his hips away, okay, establish side control. Second pass. Okay, foot comes off this hip, knee comes in, okay, hand goes down to his tricep, step, pull, okay, post my left hand, left knee comes in, pull, take him off. Okay.
Thank you.
Does that make sense? Pat?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Miss you guys.
I miss you too, buddy.
Whoa, everybody's got mustaches.
Well, yeah. It's the manly thing to do. Where's yours?
I'm growing it.
Okay. All right, guys. We got a couple minutes left. Do we got any other questions or anything?
Y'all realize under the standards for opening up, I get to go last.
Well, you know what they say.
I know.
What do they say, Tim?
When you're old, you're old.
I don't know. They say a lot of things.
Oh,
You get to go. Why would you get to go last?
Because of the most at risk.
yeah, I'm 65 or over.
You don't look a day over. You don't look a day over 53.
You don't look a day over 90, Pat.
I know. I don't look a day over 95.
It's all right.
Are you going in, Chris, or are you working from home?
I'm home.
Everybody healthy?
I mean, until they fill the holes in the backyard I dug, yeah.
Well then. All right, guys. I think tomorrow. Who do you have an interview with tomorrow?
Mauricio Gomez.
So Damien's doing the interview with Mauricio Gomez, Hodger Gracie's dad, or Hodger Gomez.
Yeah, he's one of the original 6 black belts from Holes. And then something else that's really cool that I want to talk about just because I'm a fan. He gave Guy Ritchie, if you guys like Snatch and then the movie The Gentleman and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Sherlock Holmes, he gave Guy Ritchie his black belt in Jiu-Jitsu too. So we're going to talk a little bit about history, Hodger training stars, and I think he trains Tom Hardy too. So it's going to be kind of a fun talk for you Hollywood fans too.
And then Brian's doing stand-up tomorrow at 2.
And then, is there a request line for happy hour with George on Friday, or?
Honestly, guys, here's what we're dealing with. So I messaged George to make sure he knew how to use Zoom. Pat, you need to help your buddy out here. And George said, I only have an iPad. I hope it works from that. Which right there alarmed me because that works even better than a computer. So Pat, help your old boy out, will you?
Yep.
All right, we're out. Go take care of
time.
your day, guys. We love you. We miss you. Be safe. We will see you tomorrow.
Cheers, guys.
Good.
Bye.
See ya. See you, Chris.